ran outside in the yard to use the bathroom, but boy, effort to get her outside. This girl does not like the wind. And at our temperatures right now, not that they're as cold as some places, that wind is actually pretty chilly. Well, we're going to do a little planting today. The first thing on our agenda is we need to transplant those beautiful green tea plants that we got from foodforest.com. And I have 2 containers right now. One's bigger than the other. These plants are pretty small, so for now I'm going to put 2 of these in the larger and 1 in the smaller, and I can transplant them once they get going and they're more established. But let's see. Yes, this is a kitchen spoon. I haven't brought any of my tools from outside in here. I try to keep things separated from outside to inside just because of the risk of infestation and bugs. But I'm so excited about growing my own green tea. And I think this is the 2nd or 3rd time I've tried this. And what I learned is that green tea needs humidity. So not even a hydroponic stand worked because the roots were too wet. Didn't like that either. Let's see if we can get this the right depth. We have friends in visiting from Alaska today. We had dinner with them Friday night. Or no, wait, actually it was Saturday night. And today we're going to go watch one of them bowl in a tournament. So that is pretty cool. I actually tried growing a coffee plant as well. And that was when we first moved here. And I didn't understand that heat and humidity were 2 different things. And I felt terrible because those poor things died a lonely death. But I learned that there's an awful lot involved with processing coffee. So green tea is actually a much better choice for me as far as trying to grow something that I drink myself. Because with green tea, you can just dehydrate the leaves and eat it, or not eat it, but brew your tea. But with coffee, there's this huge roasting process, and they have an external berry, and you're actually eating what I'm guessing would be kind of the seed, right? Well, not eating, brewing and roasting and drinking. So there's 2 of our green tea plants. They're still looking beautiful. Hopefully I can keep them looking as good as they looked when I got them from the Green Food Farm. They actually did a wonderful job of shipping these to me. Not everything that you order arrives in good condition, and these came in great condition. And one thing I've learned, if you live in the desert, you want to order stuff this time of the year and get it, because if you order it in the spring, if they don't ship until June, whatever your tree is that you order is going to end up riding around in a FedEx truck all day in the heat. And usually the plants don't recover after that. And that's not really the shipper's fault, company's fault. It's just how it is when you live in the desert, right? So if there's any trees that you want to order and you live in our hot climate, order it now. Or like in the next month anyway. So let's just take a look here. I'm going to add another grow light to this. But for now, that'll do just to get started. Hey, thanks for joining the channel. And the next thing we want to do is today we're going to start some eggplant seeds. And I'm going to use onions for companion planting. And let's see if I have, yay, I still have a couple little plant markers that I can use. I'm learning that marking your plants is a big deal, really important, right? Because if you don't, you're not going to know what you started. And I'm kind of excited about starting the eggplant because, one, you need to start eggplant early because it takes 5 to 6 months before you're going to get any fruit off these. It takes a long time for them to mature. And that picture for our thumbnail, that's actually of the eggplant that I brought in from outdoors. I'm trying to adjust my tripod, so hopefully you can see a little better. That might not be too bad. Okay, there we go. But I had this really nice idea. It was a friend of mine said something really nice to me, and I won't say everything that she said, but it was a huge compliment. She basically said that she saw me teaching people to grow and garden, and I got to thinking, I know a few people that really would benefit from having a garden, and not everybody has a spot to grow stuff, but I'm a connection issue here. Sorry. I don't know why we lost. I kind of have with my lately, but I'm growing. So I have a purple eggplant over here. And I'm going to just intersperse that. I'm not giving onions away. I also have a red eggplant. It's called rotunde. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But yeah, I'm going to be sharing some of these plants that I grow, the ones that I don't use for myself. God willing, we'll have a good germination here and get a lot of plants out of these seeds. I've actually given a lot of seeds away. Seeds don't last forever. They actually keep longer than you would think, but they don't last forever. So, and probably also once I'm done getting everything planted, probably going to bring my seeds inside because there's a lot of humidity here in this room, and I don't know that that would be the best conditions for storing seeds. And what do I do with my digging device? All right, where is it? I can't believe I managed to lose that in a short time frame. You know what? I have something else. Just use this copper wand. Somebody was telling me about using copper for plants, and I don't know really if that does anything or not. But I decided to try it. Actually staked all of our fruit trees with copper. There we go. You can see what I'm doing. We staked all of our fruit trees with these copper wands, and I don't know if it'll make a difference or not. It's pretty hard to judge anything that happened last year just because we had a hot growing season. It was super hard on the trees. Hopefully YouTube doesn't have anything against sharing garden plants, right? It's nice for other people start network. Communist or socialist way, but a lot of people are having hard times right now. You know, we just everybody think about if there's something that you do that's, you know, special or unique that maybe other people aren't as good at. Eating eggplant. Eggplant is kind of an exotic where I come from, and I certainly didn't cook it. It's kind of expensive. She was a practical woman, but I've learned to like it. My husband grew up eating it. He comes from an Irish Italian family, and his family, it seems like they really embrace their Italian heritage. So they had eggplant all the time. So I have learned how to cook with it because my husband likes it. And you can actually do more than make eggplant parmesan with it. You can actually take an eggplant and hollow it out, leave the shell, and chop up the interior of it and just combine it with all the same stuff that you would put in lasagna. And it actually turns out really good. Just bake it, and it's actually easier. There's less involved with it, and you kind of get the same flavor as you would as if you were making eggplant parmesan, but a lot less work. And I've used it in soups and stews and stir fries, and it's really, really good added to curry. I didn't grow up eating curry either. It's something that I've kind of discovered later in life. One of my friends introduced me to curry. See, I'm trying to get all my seeds out of my plastic bag here. So when I save seeds, I soak them in water for a few days, and it separates the flesh of the plant off of the seeds. And then I let them dry on a paper towel and I label it. And then I move it into a plastic bag like this once they're totally dried, and I mark it. And now I'm starting to add the year that I grew the seeds, so I know what year they are too, right? But that's how I save my seeds. One of the things that I learned from my mom is that anything that you grow in an environment, if you save the seeds and it grows, if it's not a plant where they've intentionally designed it not to be able to produce from its own seed, that it will be acclimated to the environment. So these are all eggplants that are acclimated to the desert. And eggplant actually grows really well in the desert. It's one of the things that I grow that actually handles our afternoon sun pretty well. Now I haven't actually tried growing it right in the hottest part of the yard. I actually may do that this year just to find out. I have those eggplants in the windows that I brought in that I saved from the cold, and they're blooming now. So far they haven't put any fruit on. I kind of feel like they really like heat a lot, but we'll see. It might just be that they're just getting woke back up and trying to flower and fruit again. We'll find out. But I'm hopeful to have really good germination because I really want to share with my friends and possibly another, a local pastor who I know they do outreach to people that are in need. So maybe they might be able to share some plants with people that would benefit from gardening too. Whether you're worried about the quality of your food supply or if you're just trying to save yourself some money by growing some of your own food. Now, don't get too excited. We have a small yard, so we're a little limited. But by my husband building this grow room for me, I feel like I'm going to have a lot more success with increasing what I can do for our family. And that's always a good thing. Oh, can you believe that? I'm actually planting the rotunda eggplant where I put the purple eggplant sign. Let's just fix that right now. That would be kind of a, I didn't even used to know that there were red eggplants. All right, so we've corrected that mistake. I didn't used to know that there were red eggplants, and I came across these, I believe, on Baker's Creek Seed Company. Most of the seeds that you're going to get from Baker Creek are heirloom seeds, and those are seeds that will reproduce from the seeds that the fruit produces, right? So I highly encourage people to consider shopping with Baker Creek Seed Company. And the other really cool thing about Baker Creek Seed Company is if you order 3 or 4 packs of seeds from them, they'll usually send you some free seed. That's how I ended up getting this really cool tomato. It's called Thornton. And it's really cool because it actually tolerated our 120-degree 5-day stretch we had here, the hottest summer I've ever spent. So I am thankful to them for sending me those seeds because I actually got tomatoes, and they're really tasty too. And they grew to be a medium-sized. I've been able to grow cherry tomatoes here, mostly not in the hottest weather, but I've been able to grow cherry tomatoes here without any problem. But these are the first medium-sized tomatoes that I thought were super flavorful that I succeeded in growing, and that was free seed from the Baker Creek Seed Company that came with one of my other orders. All right, so that is our rotunda red eggplants. And in case you're wondering, this is what they look like. And they're really interesting. They're kind of like a cross between a tomato and a pepper and an eggplant. It's quite interesting. I find them really, really delicious. They're smaller. They're kind of like the size of, actually almost like the size of this tomato up here, the rotunda tomatoes. Those medium-sized ones up there, they're about like that size. Okay, so let's do our black beauty now. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. It's a little loose on this tripod. There we go. That's better. All right, so now we're going to do our black beauty purple plants. And these are also from seeds that I saved. I haven't much luck with this. Let me see if I can tighten that screw. I think that's what my problem is. There we go. We'll see if that holds. All right, I think I have it now. Okay, so I have my tag for the purple eggplant. It's actually Black Beauty eggplant, and these are seeds that I saved. And let's just make a few rows in here. Adjusting my grow lights out of the way so that I can not have anything blocking my path. Right. I don't cover the seeds with the dirt until I'm all done so that I can keep track of where I put the seeds. And I'm going to put the onions in the middle so that I can separate them. The purple eggplant and the red eggplant, because I don't want to accidentally mix them up. Because if I'm going to share plants with people, it's one thing if I'm growing them myself for myself, I don't mind getting a fun surprise if it's a slightly different plant. Sometimes that turns out to be interesting. But if you give people plants, you want to be sure that you're actually giving them what you say you're giving them. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping these separated because I'm hoping to be able to share. And I actually have a lot more seeds for these rotundi ones than I do for the purple ones. I'm sorry. I have a lot more rotundi eggplants than I do purple eggplants, but it's quite a few. So if I'm lucky enough to have them germinate really good, I'll have a lot to share, in addition to having them for our own family. Sorry for mismatching the names of the eggplants. Maybe I should have just focused on planting one at a time. I actually thought I had more seeds than I did, but I've been giving them away. So note to self, don't give all your seeds away. Thankfully, I didn't do that. You don't want to be generous to a fault, right? Fighting with my tape on my bag here. Hopefully without dumping any seeds out. All right, purple eggplants. And the seeds are almost identical, so you wouldn't really be able to tell a difference based on the seeds. That's why labeling is so important. I have this tackle box that I keep my seeds in, and over the years, a lot of seeds have ended up in the bottom of the tackle box. And so maybe one day I might just throw all those seeds out on the ground and see what comes up. If nothing else, the quail will enjoy it. That's another nice thing about having this grow room is there's things that the quail aren't going to be able to eat, or the rats. There are rats here. Everything is hungry in the desert, including the mockingbirds. I actually had them eyeing the eggplant last year when they were setting on. And I don't really think they would enjoy eggplant that much, but never underestimate the voracious appetite of a hungry animal, whether it has 2 feet or 4. Yeah, I appreciate my friend Amy for giving me the suggestion that maybe I could help people learn to grow. We all have the ability to give something back to our community and to others. Okay, let's put our onions in the middle. There'll be a nice divider between the 2 types of eggplant so we don't get them mixed up. And these are from the store. And what I found is the critters were actually, last year I had a bunch of my onions go to seed, which was fabulous. And I was like putting the seeds out in the garden beds, thinking I'd get a bunch of onions coming up, right? Well, the critters made short work of all my onions. It's pretty remarkable what things will eat here. An onion was the last thing that I expected to get devoured by the critters, but nope, they ate almost all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to grow onions in our grow room because I eat onions. Onions are definitely a staple in our home, and they're so good for you. And my favorite are the red onions. I actually had a bunch of onions coming up. So what I do when I cook, I save the little core of the onion, the base of it where the roots are, and I stick it in the dirt, and it will actually grow a whole new onion. And so I had some of those going, like 10 of them, and they were sending up shoots, and something ate them. My husband thinks it was a rabbit just because of the side of the garden bed it was on. But I don't know. We don't have a critter cam. That might be a good idea in the future. So I'm just going to lightly cover these seeds now. Just like this. I've been using this quart pitcher to do my watering. I mix a little hydrogen peroxide in the water. I used to do that with the hydroponics, but something that I learned, and fertilizer, but something that I learned is that fungus gnats don't like hydrogen peroxide. And when you live in a warm climate, fungus gnats are a little more of a problem when you're growing in dirt. So anything that you can do to help yourself with fungus gnats is a good thing, because I don't know that they're going to hurt that much, but they're really kind of irritating. And I also have this interesting thing that my friend gave me, or she told me about, and I bought it. It's an ultraviolet light with a fan that sucks in towards a base that has a glue trap in it, and that actually does seem to get some of them. But you have to have periods of total darkness so they're attracted to the ultraviolet light, and then they get sucked in. So that is an idea for anybody that's dealing with fungus gnats. Might help you. All right, well, that pretty much concludes our planting of eggplant and onion seeds. I'm expecting these to take a few weeks to come up. Let's see if our package for the rotundae says how long it takes for germination. Well, it says 10 to 15 days. So some of these might come up possibly in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but it takes about 5 to 6 months to actually get your eggplant to fruit. So anybody that wants to grow eggplant this year, I highly encourage you to go ahead and start your eggplant seeds now. It's time to start them. And let me see, we have a couple comments here. I don't know if any of y'all are still on here. Let me take a look. I can get my phone off the tripod. Bear with me for a moment. Hello? I don't know how to say everybody's name. Mid Mirage Alam, hello. Thanks for joining the channel today. Rangers FC, hi. Thanks for joining the channel. Well, appreciate anybody that joined us today and watched. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.